how you doing? My name's Al Butler, and me and my wife and my sister have started this company called Blue Note Tours. I'm not an actor or anything, but I did write some things down that are on our website that we're trying to get done, and hopefully just bear with me while I look down and read some of these things and inform you what's going on. We have two 9-day tours to choose from. All of them are in luxury tour buses with plenty of legroom. What is included in the tour is all your hotels, museums, breakfasts, lunches, attractions, and some admissions to some of the best blues clubs there are out there. Our southbound tour starts in Chicago, where you'll get to hear some great blues from clubs like B.B. King's and Buddy Guy's, legends. Also, we'll visit the Chicago Blues Museum and Blue Heaven Foundation, located where Chess Records once stood. That's dedicated to Willie Dixon, who wrote some great tunes for the likes of Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter, Etta James, just to name a few. Next, we're off to St. Louis, where we'll enjoy some nightlife when we get there. And then we're off to the National Blues Museum, which starts next year, actually, in 2014. We'll be some of the first people there. John Goodman is really pushing for that and is one of the sponsors. And we'll get up and close with the famous Clydesdales at the Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Brewery Tour. Then we'll wind the night down with some more blues. Make sure you bring your instruments musicians, because we're going to do some open mic nights. Then we're off to Memphis to party down on Beale Street, where the drinks are cool and the blues is hot. I wrote that. You can use it if you want. We will visit Sun Studio, where Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, and B.B. King, plus many more recorded. Just a quick note, Ike Turner's first recording of Rocket 88 in 1951 is considered to be the first recorded rock and roll song. Yep. And like they say, the blues had a baby, they called it rock and roll. Next, you can go to the Rock and Soul Museum, or you can opt out to go to Elvis Presley's home in Graceland. There's a lot of other things you can do in Memphis. Memphis is a great city. Then we're off to Clarksdale, Mississippi, where we'll visit the Delta Blues Museum, where Muddy Waters Shack is there. And then we're over to Hobson Plantation and Shack Up Inn. And note, Shack Up Inn, look them up online. It's a fantastic place, and we'll actually be staying there on our tour. Then you'll be able to see Pinetop Perkins Shack there. There's a couple other more ones that I'll fill you in for later. Then we're off to the juke joints like Red's Lounge and Ground Zero's open mic night. We'll be there on a Thursday. Every Thursday they have open mic night, and that's also Morgan Freeman's club. He's part owner in that. I've played there several times. Great venue to play in. So once again, bring your instruments. But don't forget to take your picture at the famous Crossroads, where Robert Johnson's made his deal with the devil. Then we're off to, the next day, we're off to Dockery Farms Plantation, where it's rumored that that's where the blues got started at. That was also the home of Charlie Paxson and Son House. They both worked there in the cotton fields and everything. Then we're off to Indianola, Mississippi, where we're going to go visit B.B. King's Museum. And then we're off to Vicksburg, Mississippi, where you can check out the local blues or gamble at one of the casinos. Got some great casinos there. Our last day of that tour, of the southbound tour, brings us to Picture Perfect Natchez, and on our way to the Big Easy New Orleans, or Nolens, depending on which way you want to pronounce it, and the world famous Bourbon Street, where you can get your Cajun on with some great food, some kickin' blues, and some Zydeco music. Our northbound tour begins in New Orleans as more of a chronological tour of the blues, from its beginnings and its development from the cotton fields to the electric blues of Chicago. We will visit most of the same cities, museums, and attractions and blues clubs as the southbound tour, but with one exception. We're going to go up to Greenville, Mississippi, instead of Vicksburg, where you can get in on the famous Walnut Street juke joints or gamble at one of their casinos. Everything is in reverse from that point there. The reason is because each leg of the tour, to this day, you'll notice the difference in the style and progression of the blues. The way that the blues is played from place to place, city to city. Each one has its own stamp on their sound of music that we love, that's called the blues. The blues is a feeling that's way down in your soul. It's sorrow and joy. It's a way to get from the darkness to the light. This thing that makes you think and feel that you just can't live without. This thing called the blues. We are billing ourselves also as, and we're not billing, it's the passport to the blues. And to prove it, everybody will get their own passport. Not a real passport, you're not going to be able to go overseas with it, but it'll be a passport for our trip. You'll get your own picture, and you get to pick out either your blues name or we'll give one for you. For example, I'm Big Al. My sister Dawn is Delta Dawn, and Paula, who's recording this, is still working on hers. So you get to pick that out. It'll be your alias for the trip. Your passport is your ticket into everything that's included in your trip, along with discounts to blues clubs, juke joints, restaurants, and attractions. This will be fun. You'll be traveling incognito as Blind Dog Miller or Boston Slim Legs Conniff, or maybe even Sam the Shoefly Horowitz. But you might want to go and pick your own name. These are some that I kind of picked out. So, So either way, it doesn't matter. Let your hair down, because that's what this trip is all about. It's about having fun and listening to great blues in 9 or so different cities. So grab your passport. It's going to be an unforgettable blues trip. That's going to be our thing, and that's my pitch to you. We cannot do this without your support. We need funding. We have to get our site up. We need advertising. I have to secure all the hotels and logistics of it. It's kind of like a nightmare, but I also was in the trucking business, so I can figure that out. It's not that much of a deal. It's just time consuming, and we need to get this all figured out and get it going. We're also, once we get going with this, we're going to see how 2014 is, but by 2015 we want to start something called Blues for Schools. What that's going to entail is $50 from every person that goes on our tour will go into a fund, and we figure there's going to be about 50 people to a bus. That's going to be per trip. It's going to be $2,500. We're going to 2 tours a month. That's $5,000 and $35,000 a year. That's going into Blues for Schools. What Blues for Schools is that we're going to go ahead, because so many schools have gone ahead and their music departments are suffering right now. We're going to go ahead, get blues musicians to come in and teach these kids the blues. That's what it's all about, passing on to the next generation this great American music that has spawned so many other different music afterwards, and so many great musicians. It's simply called the blues. Please help us. Please donate. Everything that you give us will be greatly appreciated. We thank you.